Toodaloo. Another day of high drama at the inquiry into Victoria's botched hotel quarantine scheme, and it's exposed more flaws in the state government's mishandling of the system, with the Health Minister Jenny Mikakos admitting she was left in the dark on matters.
You were not briefed in relation to the governance or lines of accountability in respect of the hotel quarantine program.
That is correct.
You were not advised of the engagement of private security in the hotel quarantine program and did not become aware of their involvement until after the Ridges outbreak.
That is correct.
Well, there's growing calls to sack Jenny Mikakos over her handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. And joining me now is Victoria's Shadow Health Minister, Georgie Crozier. Georgie, great to see you tonight. I know you've been calling for Jenny Mikakos' resignation for some time. I mean, this is just high farce now. I mean, I said in my opener, the writers at Yes Minister would reject this script because it's too far-fetched.
Well, Peter, you're absolutely right. I mean, it'd be funny if it was a Yes Minister script, but it's not. It's actually reality, and it's so tragic with what's going on. Because anyone who's been watching the Victorian Hotel Quarantine Inquiry will see, we've had a string of senior bureaucrats from various departments to police to now 3 ministers who are all just going around in circles, and no one is taking any responsibility for this extraordinary and dreadful occurrence of the hotel quarantine. And today, as you said, we've seen the minister, and again, she wasn't really in charge and she wasn't really made aware of what was going on. I mean, for heaven's sake, she's the health minister. She's also the minister for the COVID-19 response. So it beggars belief what on earth she's been doing. And I have been calling on her to be sacked for months because she's overseen a litany of failures. And of course, the contact tracing, the catastrophic failures in that, as I've spoken to you in the past about, have just led to so much devastation and tragedy in Victoria.
Georgie, I have a real problem with the outcome of this inquiry. And I was on Peter Credlin's show earlier tonight, and she, pointed out that because the scope and the parameters that were given to this inquiry don't include the ability, like a Royal Commission, to seize, emails and text messages and all that sort of thing, that there's a very good chance that when Daniel Andrews fronts up tomorrow, he will also have his usual case of amnesia, and that this inquiry that everyone in Victoria, everyone around Australia for that matter, is craving for a result, is going to come up with a big fat donut.
Well, that's right. It's a board of inquiry, Peter. It's not a Royal Commission, so there is no ability to compel documents or get some of those materials that we so desperately need. I mean, we've got this collective amnesia that's going around with these senior bureaucrats and ministers. You would think that they would be able to remember who made the decision on the hotel quarantine, on the security guards who hired them, and nobody can tell. Out of all of these days and days of hearings, nobody can give the answers that Victorians so desperately want to know, and all Australians, as you quite rightly say, because this is affecting not only every Victorian, but it is affecting every Australian. And we deserve those answers. And these people, I mean, you wonder what on earth they were doing in their inner cabinet, that cabinet of 8. What were they doing? Sitting around having cups of coffee and eating teddy bear biscuits? If they can't remember, they don't know who made these very critical decisions costing tens and tens of millions of dollars. What on earth are they doing? And the Premier, look, he just gets up there every day and holds the narrative. But look, who knows what he'll say tomorrow. But I think every Victorian is expecting him to tell the truth, and they deserve the truth.
Yeah, well, we can always hope, can't we, Georgie? I find it abhorrent that you've got a leader of a state that's in the grip of a pandemic, that's gone through a second wave, who just won't fess up. And as I said earlier, this is life and death. This is beyond politics. This is about people's lives. People deserve real answers from this bloke. And I mean, even in the face of damning evidence that was presented by Andrew Clennell on Sky News yesterday afternoon, where basically we RTI'd the letters between the Prime Minister and Andrews, and it was very clear. I mean, it's as clear as black and white that you know, the Prime Minister offered up the ADF personnel and Andrews declined that offer. And even in the face of all that evidence, this bloke is saying, no, that's not right. I just don't understand how... And he's 62% of Victorians still think he's doing an okay job.
Well, he's slippery, Peter. He's slippery. And he's weaseling his way out through these weasel words. You're right. The Prime Minister's letters were very, very clear and with the offer with the ADF. And we know that. But we've seen him in the Public Accounts and Estimates Committee saying, no, ADF were on offer. Just the incredible amount of spin this guy does is just extraordinary. And I've been saying it for months and months and months. The secrecy, the spin that is going on is actually really bad for our democratic system. It's really, people are losing trust and they just want hope and they want confidence. And they just see this and they're just shaking their heads in dismay. And I can tell you, they really do deserve the truth. And I hope the Premier does a lot better than his ministers and stops passing the buck and tells us exactly who made these decisions, because there are so many decisions that we don't know about, whether it's the curfew, whether it's a whole other range of things that are going on. Victorians are really doing it extremely tough, and they deserve the Premier, the very man, as you said, to tell us the truth. And I think, I just hope that we get that tomorrow, but I'm not holding my breath.
No, I wouldn't hold one's breath. I mean, you're right, Georgie, it's an assault on democracy. I mean, the obfuscation, the lies, the deception, it really is. I mean, this is the sort of stuff that you expect in some of those, Eastern Bloc regimes from the 80s. I mean, it's the sort of stuff that, happened with Chernobyl. I mean, that's the, the cover-up there. I mean, that's the sort of stuff we're experiencing now. Just quickly, Pakula and Lisa Neville, same deal yesterday. I know nothing, Sergeant Schultz. They should also go?
The whole lot of them. I mean, they made the decisions. These are these senior ministers that are making the decisions on behalf of every single one of us. And for them to have, as I said, this collective amnesia and this ridiculous buck passing is just not acceptable on any level. They all need to go, but clearly, the health minister who has overseen this litany of failures on so many accounts, on so many levels, and it's led to so much devastation and the tragic loss of hundreds and hundreds of lives. I mean, she's the first to go, and even her own health union is calling for her to go, saying she's incompetent and clueless.
Yeah, I saw that today. Georgie Crozier, thank you so much for your time tonight. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, Peter. Thank you.